NATA is an exam wherein they will test your capability or aptitude on whether you're fit to actually prepare for something like BArch in India, Bachelor of Architecture in India. Now, very interestingly, they do not have drawing in this particular exam. Now, with that particular limitation in mind, they use multiple types of questions so that they can measure that particular aptitude of yours. In fact, to be precise, they would be using 6 different types of questions to actually evaluate your aptitude. And in this particular video, we would be looking at those types of questions. What are the different kinds of questions that they usually ask in NATA? Hello everyone, this is Suraj and you are Think Institute of Design. Let's talk about the 6 types of questions. I'm very sure that out of these 6 types, at least 3 or 4 you would have already seen, heard, or even attempted in your school days. For example, the multiple choice type of questions, multiple select type of questions, even the numerical type of questions, match the following. All these are questions that you might have already seen or even attempted. So one by one we would look at them, and we would also cover the preferential and also observation type of questions. Let's start with the first one, the multiple choice question. Very simple, straight to the point. 4 options would be there. There would be one correct answer. You need to pick that. Now, there is no much trick to be understood in this particular thing. This is one example of that kind of questions. What happens when the light is refracted into a medium? There are 4 options given. There is one correct answer. You just need to select that. That's it. Another example of the same type of question, very basic math or arithmetic, whatever you want to call it. The sum of all angles around a point on a plane is 4 options are given and one of them is the right answer. But the next level of questions is wherein you have the multiple select questions. Now in the multiple select question, they have multiple answer choices that are given. Let's say it might be 8 to 10 choices that are given. Now here the trick is actually you need to get all the answers correctly. So if there are, let's say 10 options are there, 4 of them are correct. You need to get all 4 correctly. Only then you will get full marks. For partial correct answers, you're not going to get marks. And that's the trick part of it. So this is one example. So it's a question based on elements of principles of design, and you can see there are 8 options that are given, and out of that 4 options are correct. Now you need to select all the 4 options correctly to get full marks or even to get any marks. So there is no sort of partial marking in these types of questions. Another example here, an image has been given. You need to select multiple right answers. 5 of them are correct here. So this is the typical multiple select questions. This has to be given, of all the types of questions, this has to be given good amount of importance because of this particular amount of difficulty that is arising, because you need to get all the right answers. Moving on to the third type of questions. Quite interesting. NATA had, I think, introduced this way back in 2021. Probably it was not there in 22. It's coming back in 23, I think. Preferential choice type question. Now in this, very interestingly, of the all choices that are given, each choice will have a different marking scheme. So whatever choice you are selecting, whatever options you are selecting, it will have a different mark. And it's based on your choice that you get marks. So a couple of images are given. You need to figure out how many differences are there. 4, 5, 6 and 7 are given. You select the first option, you're getting 2 marks. The second option, you're getting 3 marks. The third option, you're getting 1 mark. The fourth option, you're not getting any marks. So basically your decision capability and how much you can be accurate, what's the percentage of accuracy that you can develop, rather than your precision or exactness, is what's being tested here. Now the fourth type of question is numerical answer question. I'm sure at least some of you might have answered this in mathematics. You might have had these kinds of questions. No answer choices are given. It's not even necessary that it has to be a number. NATA had even asked fill in the blanks type of questions with English. So it could be anything. Only if you're getting the right answer, you're getting the correct mark. So there's no business of, again, partial marking scheme or anything of that sort is not there. The example for those is the sides of a triangle are in the ratio so and so, and its perimeter is given. You need to figure out what's the area. So a very simple arithmetic, straightforward math based question. Another example, how many times the hands of a clock coincide in a day? Again, to the point, there is not even a decimal. So it's just a straight number. You enter that with the numerical keypad, you're getting the full marks. Otherwise, that's it, no marks. Now, the number 5, this is quite common. You might have even seen in the JEE paper, wherein you will have to match, let's say, for example, the architect and the monument, or you might have to map the building and its corresponding location. So very simple. We might have had these kinds of questions even since childhood days. So this is a typical example of that type of a question. Architects are given on one side and their buildings or their famous works are given on the other side. You map them correctly, you're getting the full marks. The last but another very important type of question after multiple select type is observation type. Quite interesting. This is one of those skills which almost all the architects and designers must have: observation. From what I remember previously, I think there was huge amount of weightage that they had given for observation type of questions. So please make that also a point. Please note that too down. An image would be shown for a fixed amount of time. With respect to those images, there would be questions asked. The trick part in it, you can't go back to those images. You can only see them once for a fixed amount of time. Let's say 30 seconds. So one example for that is this one. You're shown an image, a typical classroom. There are girls and boys who are sitting there. You can observe as much things as you want in the 30 seconds, and based on this you would get questions. Let's take a couple of questions based on this. The first one is, what color was the hairband of the girl named Beth? You need to figure out girls in that. You need to figure out the girl who was named Beth in that. You need to figure out the hairband and the color of that. So there are multiple things that you need to observe. It's not quite straightforward. Another question, what was the time displayed on the wall clock? You should have observed a wall clock, there was a calendar, there was student work, so lots of things that were displayed. So it's the observation that gets important here. So in a nutshell, if I am to talk about these 6 types of questions, a couple of them are very important: multiple select type of questions, and the last one, that's the observation type of questions. It also needs not just knowledge, but also good amount of practice to ensure that you attain good amount of perfection in that. Okay, so the idea of doing a video like this was to give you an idea of what are the important type of questions that are there, and you need to know wherein you need to give importance or priority to what kind of questions you need to give importance. When you're doing mock papers, one thing that you can do is you can actually note down which type of questions you're losing marks, and based on that you can practice more. So if you want more previous year questions or the last year questions of NAT and all, you can contact us at the number that's shown here, 8086111024. Until we see you in the next session, thank you everyone.